Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Trending Thursday, the first live stream that set it all off for all of us here at VectorVest in the mobile stuff. Huh? I didn't pop my home screen. I didn't know what I was supposed to do because I thought this is like when I had Ryan on. Well, why don't you tell me these things? Oh, okay. Well, there's Joey in the background who never helps me out evidently. So, hey, everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And Lou says from the communist state of California. I was just there. I'm not going to call it a communist state, though. I won't call it a hot communist. Should be a question for Mark. Now is the time to bottom fish. Do you not think? Hey, did you not see the alert for today? What did my alert say? My alert said now is the time to bottom fish. Hey, Glenn, I see that you sent out the bat signal to the market. Oh, no, I didn't. It wasn't me. That wasn't me. The alert just hit because it just hit. Yeah, there it is. It wasn't me that said I don't have that control. I didn't talk to Jerome yesterday. I should have talked to Jerome yesterday, but I didn't talk to JP yesterday. So, Joey, let me do that for you. I'm gonna do that for you real quick.
I thought you had already done that.
No, it doesn't matter what screen it's on, right?
Nope.
All right. So I got it on a screen. Let's do it this way. I got it on a screen, so you should be able to take a look at it. All right. Where's Ryan? Ryan's here with me on Wednesdays, and I think that we might be getting close to giving him his own live stream, possibly on Tuesdays. We'll see. I think that might happen. We'll see. We'll see if we can make.
Over a little bit.
Huh?
You just gotta scoot it over a little bit.
All right. Let me do that now. How about there? Right there. There we go. All right. So you can see the screen in the background now. Joey will put it up. Is today the day of bottom fishing? And I'm gonna wow. And that's the beautiful thing behind having the VectorVest software. Intraday, we got a signal because the primary wave went up and we had a green light in the color guard pricing column. What has happened since then? We lost the green light and the primary wave went back down. Now, if you want to be super aggressive, could you bottom fish today? Interesting in that you ask that question. Let's go to the market timing graph. Let's go to the market timing graph. This is since 9:30 this morning, intraday. All right, 9:30 happened right about here. Oh, hold on. Let me change the screen to reflect that. All right, 9:30 happened right about here. This is the move up. As you can see, we're starting to pull back off of the high of the day intraday that occurred at 12:44 this afternoon. We're still leveling out right now. We're still higher than the open today, so that's a good sign. But we did lose the primary wave up. I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph. And there's what I call almost like a blast off day. We took out prior to right now, we did take out the prior candle from the day before, the big red candle down, and we had a primary wave up. So my idea was at that particular point in time when I set up the alert that it was the right time. But look at what's going on. Now, how do I know when it's really, really, really the right time? If we would have closed today with the primary wave up with a candle looking the way that it looks right now, this could have been looked at as the blast off day. Nice upward move today coming off of yesterday's bullish candles, the bullish harami. And now what's happening, and this is what live market action will do for you. Live market action is saying that we're pulling back from that right now. This is why I say, this is why you need to have the VectorVest system so that we'll tell you when it's exactly the right time. And we'll give you some ideas by way of the Derby on a nightly basis, the 1 and 5 day winners. We give so much information to help you guys make money in the market. My new philosophy on the channel right now is called Feed the Market. Feed the Nation, the Nation. And I'm going to do a combination on my live streams, a combination of teaching you how to fish and giving you a fish. There's a lot of people that come here just for the fish. Then a lot of you really want to put work into honing your craft of investing in the stock market. So for those people, I'm going to continue to teach you how to fish. So, and Ben is right. What we're looking for, what we are still looking for is confirmation. What's going on right now is we pulled back because the information is live. See the wick forming on today's candle. We are pulling back a little bit. We lost the green light. And with you, Bill, Ryan's doing great. I agree with you. I think he's a great addition to the team, and he is doing an amazing job. Don't forget, he's got a 6 p.m. video coming out tonight that you need to go check out. He's always bringing something to the table, We may be putting in a base to make a new leg higher today. We'll see. Again, why not take a few strategies and put them into a portfolio and track them? You will be surprised what you learn over time by doing this. Well, I got a special guest today who'll tell you a little bit more about us being able to do that. All right, so it's not something that we don't do, John. It is not something that we don't do. We do. All right, we got 208. We got almost 300 people today. I know a lot of people are here for the purposes of where can I find stocks to bottom fish for, and if it's the right time to really bottom fish. And again, with the intraday data, we've pulled off of that. But I'm still going to give you some fish, but I'm also going to teach you how to fish by determining if it's the right time for you. So it's going to be a combination of the two. Let's get into my news articles today. And again, I do have a special guest today. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Why is the market doing what it's doing? Back and forth, back and forth. Jerry says, Glenn, even if the market timing ends off a few cents, does that mean that we should not bottom fish? Jerry, I'm going to teach you that today in regards to the teaching you how to fish type of a scenario today. Why is the market doing what it's doing? U.S. stocks are rising as Congress races to avert a looming government shutdown. Now, someone asked, we just need some good news to push the market higher. Right now, based upon what's going on in the market, this is about the only good news, possibly looking at GDP data and all that. I think that this is possibly the best news that we could have in regards to pushing the market higher. The problem is that Congress is so far apart on what they are willing to agree on. And the problem is you got the former president of the United States saying, let it close down. I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent, but it's scaring the hell out of people. All right. And I just saw something on YouTube with Lindsey Graham and who's the guy with the beard and the Republican who was running for president? Somebody. Sigh. I can't believe I can't remember his name. Anyway, they were both on YouTube today stating that in order for anything to move forward as far as funding the country, they had to close the borders. Well, there's a big divide between whether the border is open or closed. Cruz, thank you, Fitz. Whether the border is open or closed, and that's going to be a big bone of contention in moving forward with averting a shutdown. Now, for every one of you who said, I can't believe you didn't know who Cruz was, I keep telling you, I got a lot of stuff running through this mind at any given time that you got to afford me the opportunity to forget some stuff sometimes. I got so much stuff going on. All right, so that's going to be a big push whether the market goes up or goes down. If they come to an agreement, boom, the market can run. If they don't, people are going to be scared, all right, and push the market down. Here's another one. NASDAQ falls. This was earlier this morning. NASDAQ falls. It does at 6:17 in the morning as rate worries take center stage. Powell's on deck. I think he comes up today at 4:30. He talks about the Fed balance sheet. And I think, again, what he's got to say could move the market in one direction, but it's going to be after the market close when he does come on. All right. So in regards to what's going on in the market, this is part of my teaching you how to fish, to take the data that we have and being able to relay it into what's going on with your stocks at this particular point in time. All right, Joey, put me back on my beginning screen. That is just the backside of what's going on in the market. I've got a special guest today, one of my favorite people here that works at VectorVest, talking about the ability and I'm going to put this up. Just put me in this up, Joey. Talking about the ability to make 15% a year in the market. 15% a year. Is there anybody in here that would not be in tune with making 15%? And that's a very, what's the word I want to use? Conservative? 15% a year. 15% a year. And we've got a free online workshop. I'm going to bring on my guest right now. Glenn, can you lend me $1 trillion? Fireblazer, I don't even like you like that. I don't even like you like that to try to lend you. Could I? Probably, but do I want to? No. So, with that being said, I'm going to bring up my guest today. Joey, bring him on. His name is Todd Schaefer, one of my favorite people here at VectorVest. And he's one of the coaches for the Successful Investor. And Todd, I want you to talk to them a little bit about how they can attain possibly 15% a year.
Well, successful investing is all about a methodology that Dr. DeLito developed early on in the VectorVest journey. And it essentially is buying stocks that have solid fundamentals, buying them when the market is rising and the stock is continuing to rise in its price action as well. So you're putting the probabilities on your side of buying stocks and established trends that are driven by fundamentals and the market broadly is rising. So in the context of your conversation today, in terms of bottom fishing, from a successful investing perspective, we would favor stocks whose price, yes, may have been beaten down in the bear move, but fundamentally the stocks still have rising earnings forecasts. We're just looking for a reversal in the price action. How quickly you do that is a matter of how aggressive you want to be. So what we're looking for in the price pattern, in fact, you have access to the program, Glenn?
Yep.
Let's take a look at a Unisearch, and let's look at one of the bottom fishing searches. I think Jerry did it in his presentation, best of the biggies, or one of those blue chip bargains, something like that.
Which one you want? I can go with the granddaddy of them all, jailbreak no contras.
Nope, let's not do that because I'm trying to stay fundamentally sound. So let's do blue chip bargains.
Blue chip bargains, blue chip, high average volume.
Go VST descending.
Oh, VST.
Or VST RT.
There you go. Okay.
So we're looking for stocks here that have good fundamentals, right? RS above 1.25. We're sorting them so that to the top of the list comes the stocks that have the highest combination of VST score, but the lowest RT score. So good fundamentals, but they're in downtrends. So if you're a VectorVest user, then you can look at the internal mix and see that these are some pretty solid companies fundamentally. Let's look at their charts. The key for us in this successful investing approach is we're looking for that fundamental strength. So let's look on a 1-year basis. Let's just look at price and earnings.
Price and earnings.
And is that a 1-year chart?
That is a 1-year chart.
All right. So image is small for me, so I'm just going to have to guess here a little bit.
Sorry.
Right. But that earnings pattern on the bottom is the one we're looking for, right? You want bottom left to upper right. The smoother the better, that they have consistently performed financially, even though the market has soured on stocks and the price has been beaten up. So here's our opportunity to get back into a solid stock, a stock that's solid fundamentally at a lower price point. The key here is we need to see the price action make the turn. So if I have the market exploding up off of the lows today, but SQ continues to move lower, then that's obviously not participating in the change of sentiment of the market. So I'm waiting for the uptick, at least, right? I at least need to see the breakout bar. It should be a bullish engulfing kind of pattern, right? Some kind of a bullish candlestick pattern showing me reversal of price action before I would jump in on that stock. Let's go to another one.
End
phase. See if we can
phase.
find one. End phase. Again, right? Solid fundamentals. It's been in a downtrend now for 11 months or more. I need to see the turn. Let's contrast that
There you
Keep
go.
going. Let's see if we can find one.
There you go. Well,
I can't see the hard
that's
right edge of that
ALB,
enough, but-
Albemarle.
Mhm.
Only thing is, earnings is still higher than it was a year ago, but it's pulling back. Do you still want to look at that?
That's right. So analysts are saying, well, we're revising downward, still positive earnings, but at a lower clip. Right? So less bullish than you would otherwise hope, right? In that kind of reversal scenario.
Okay.
Let me do this. No, that didn't work. All right. Well, let's keep moving on.
All right.
What
Well,
I'm looking for is Albemarle had that first tick, right? But let's see if we can find one. And I don't know if we will or not because I didn't pre-screen this or anything. But flip through a couple. I'm looking for somebody who's actually on a swing pivot.
so this is
Right,
an
that's put in the
interesting
low and
trade.
is moving off.
This is interesting. I put us down to a 2-month graph. The
Mhm.
fundamentals are there, but I got a bullish candle in that this is a bullish harami, possibly, but I haven't seen the uptick yet. Is that what
Right.
you're
So
saying?
you look for confirmation of that, right?
Right. All right.
Okay. So that's the aggressive way. And I'm trying to look for an example that may be a little bit more prudent. Keep firing for me here.
I'm trying.
Just-
Joey. All right. Here we go. How about this one? This has got a little bit more follow through from the prior
that's
day.
getting better. So in other words, and in successful investing, we take a more prudent approach. So instead of buying the first or second green candle off the low, we look for stocks who have actually established a higher high and a higher low,
Okay.
at least the higher low, right? So we're looking for that new trend to actually establish.
I'm going to keep
So all
going
that's
through.
doing is slowing me down on the reentry. And obviously that is less risky. It also has fewer reversals, right? Less volatile kind of approach, although you might leave a little bit of money on the table by not getting in right away.
Here's a semiconductor that was hot, got not hot. Is this ready yet? Do you think?
Well, that would be more aggressive, right? You've got a bullish engulfing candle, right? Very little wick. So it's having a nice explosive day today, but that would be a more aggressive entry.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
So successful investing is all about trying to move yourself more to the prudent side of the scale.
What about this one? How about that one?
That's getting closer, right? So we're a couple days up off the low. And even though the market's only bounced here for a day,
Mm-hmm.
right? This stock has actually been moving up for the past 5 or 6. Even better if I saw it pull back to a higher low and then took out that higher, right? So I'd have actual reversal of trend.
All right. I like
So the
this.
key here is, I was gonna say, I haven't had we don't have a perfect example in this set, but I'm trying to draw the distinction of two things. First of all, I'm looking for solid fundamentals with rising earnings. And my second item on the wish list is that we've reestablished uptrend, even though it's in the short term. The more aggressively you enter on the bounce, right? You haven't established trend yet, you're just buying the bounce, you're just being more aggressive, which isn't good or bad. But the key then is define your stop loss and make sure that you're risking the trade if the market reverses and it falls back to your stop loss. When you hit that line in the sand, that shouldn't be more than a 1 to 2% exposure to the portfolio.
I like that little swing low right here of 228.46 is a good level to not let this become a big loser if you're getting ready to get into it.
That's right. So often, right, in successful investing, we're position traders. And so typically in a bull market, we'd use something like the VectorVest stop price as our stop methodology. Well, in this case, you're going to find a lot of stocks that are already below the VectorVest stop price because they've been in downtrend. So going to the most recent pivot low is a great way to set a stop loss, because obviously if I take out that low, then I'm still in downtrend.
Yep. All right.
So it's tight at the turn. This is really a bet on a stock that has fundamental strength rising when the market's rising.
Okay. I'm going
we're
to
putting the odds, the probabilities in our favor.
look at these semiconductors that were so hot turning back around right now. There's NVIDIA coming off a beautiful level of support. starting to resume uptrend off that level of support. I like
Yep,
that.
So again, it hasn't established uptrend yet, right? But it does have strong support. So is that putting probabilities on your side of taking that entry? Because obviously, if you break that support level, then things are breaking down instead.
I do like that. Again, the stocks that were hot are the stocks that are starting to bounce around already. Starting to bounce around already. This is a little bit of a channel, but looking at the VectorVest Simple, looking at the VectorVest Simple with just price and earnings, I think is a very easy way to put yourself in the right positions when the market gives you the opportunity. You agree, disagree?
Well, yeah, if you look at this chart for FI, what's it been doing over the last year? Well, over the last 10 months, it's been in that nice steady uptrend driven by rising earnings.
Right.
Right. So what happened? Well, the market turned south and this stock turned with it. Right. So did anything fundamentally change for the company? Well, not really. Right. They're still forecast to make better earnings. So really what I'm looking for is a change of conviction in terms of the market, right? A change of sentiment that we're ready to move higher.
Okay.
So we call this a resumption trade. Once this is a beautiful stock chart on that VectorVest Simple approach, I'm just looking for a resumption of uptrend.
Look at that. Our graphing package gives you the ability to do just that. All right. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to look at a couple of more of these real quick, and then I want to keep you around to apply this to practical application. You okay with that?
Yep, actually go back one. There you go. So look at ACN. What's that doing on a trend basis? We went to the higher high, pulled back to a higher low. That stock is in uptrend.
Gotcha.
All right. So I can buy it off of the low. Right. But the key is that the uptrend has been reestablished as a potential candidate.
Gotcha.
And the fundamentals are still there.
Look at the earnings per share on that. That's
It's been
beautiful.
chopping around a little bit, so I might look for, some kind of a breakout out of that little consolidation that it's in.
Okay.
But you get the idea.
I do.
Right. The downtrend is over.
Akshaya says bad earnings today. Let's go put earnings on. Yep, there's earnings. Wow. Every 3 months. Oh, this is 1 year. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. About to say, would give earnings every month? No, but this is a 1 year graph. So
my apologies. I didn't see I'm on small screener. I couldn't see that red bar.
Oh, so, down here?
Obviously, the gap down. And
okay.
We don't buy stocks on earnings, on earnings days. But that being said, it's still, prior to today's price action, that's still the model.
Gotcha. All right. Tell you what we're going to do. You stay there, and we're going to go into the rest of my news. I've got a watch list made up already. One of them is oil. All right. Oil could be headed as high as $150 unless the U.S. boosts its output. Everybody knows where I stand with oil. I'm not trying to get into that right now. I'm tired of y'all trying to push me into a political talk because I ain't doing it. But drill, baby, drill. Oh, did I say that? I didn't say that. I didn't mean to say that. Anyway, oil could go as high as $150 unless the U.S. boosts its output, says major exploration firm. Oil is still going up. I'm still playing oil. We're going to take a look at that. Some of the biggest movers today, GameStop, Peloton, Micron Technology, CarMax, and more. Bigger movers, Jabil, following, this was earnings. The company anticipates quarter one earnings between 2.4 to 2.8 versus the consensus of 235. GameStop went and put Ryan Cohen as the CEO effective immediately. All right, so they're trying to bring that GME back on board. Big news, and Ryan did a short on this on the YouTube channel, on this channel. Peloton surged after it had some collaboration with Lululemon. All right, so those are the stocks that I'm looking at that made the news. Let's go use your methodology. Let's go use your methodology in regards to taking a look at those. Before we do, markets, all of the major indices are up. NASDAQ leading the way, but now it's Russell 2000, the lower dollar, more riskier stocks. People are becoming more greedy, less fearful. Well, the VIX shows us that as well, down 5.5%. Let's go to the big news, and you now notice that I've got my lists set up a little differently. All right, big news, teaching you how to fish, because I think with Todd being here today, talking about the stocks that I've put into the list, we're going to be able to apply, if the news is worth it, to buy the stock based on the VectorVest simple methodology. How about that, Todd? Yes?
Yeah, and you make a good point. This all starts with market timing, right? I need a market signal before I go looking for the stocks. So if I can't hang on to the primary wave or the green light, right, from successful investing, I'm not doing anything. Right, so I'm only buying stocks when I have a bullish market timing signal. For us, that's the green light buyer. But wherever you are on that spectrum, the market timing signal is the starting pistol in this race, right? You don't move until you have the signal.
And Akshaya says oil stocks are down today. That's fine. They're still up overall. I gave you what I thought about oil stocks. I still think that there's some form of manipulation going on, and I still don't think that what's going on with oil is right. I can't back that up in VectorVest, so I'm letting you know that that's my insight. All right, let's go graph all of these stocks real quick. We're going to keep them on the VectorVest simple. Put this on a 1-year graph. There you go, Todd. Take it away, buddy.
Yep. So first thing my eyes go to is that earnings graph, right? That's the first and easiest cut to make. Secondly, then I look at that 1-year chart pattern. Is it going bottom left, upper right, smoother the better? Well, it is. Now you can see easily, just look at this on a structure basis, how prices flattened out in the last 3 months. Okay, I'm okay with that. But look at the upthrust you got today.
That's earnings.
So it's a beat, obviously, right?
Yep.
So I've got the breakout on a strong day. It would be very aggressive to buy that on the gapping day, right? On the breakout day. So we wait for follow through. But from a successful investing standpoint, I need to have the green light. Secondly, I would need to see follow through on this stock moving higher tomorrow before I would consider taking the position.
And keep in mind,
fundamentally, it's there, and I like it.
And keeping in mind that the process that Todd is taking you through can typically yield 15% a year. This is not a difficult something to do. You're simply looking at the graph, and I'm taking the news with these stocks. I'm taking the news, and Lululemon and Peloton come together. Is it good? Well, from a perspective of the successful investor, what do you think about Lulu?
Well, the earnings picture looks right? I like that. But what's going on with the price? Well, the price, first of all, is pretty erratic. Lots of gapping action, right? Lots of volatility in that price action itself. But it also seems to have stalled, right? I'm basically sideways in a pretty broad channel over this past year, right? So even if I like this stock, what did it do in the near term? Go to like the 6-month graph. Let's see if we can see it in better detail. I had the breakout, right? We saw a breakout today. And what happened on Lulu? Well, what follow through, right? So I had that big impulse move on the breakout, and then it failed, and we faded the gap, and we're still fading the gap, right? We're still in downtrend. So as much as you may like Lulu, the time to take it is when that downtrend ends. Well, how do I know that the downtrend has ended? Well, when the price starts going up again.
What candlestick is this right here, Todd? Do you know?
The hanging man?
The hanging man's at the top. It's a hammer at the bottom.
Yeah, okay, fine.
It could be a possible reversal, but what do you need to do? You need to let this come to you. Fireblazer says, I want to learn how to fish. Should I use my wife as a lure? Sigh. I'm going to stop reading your stuff, Fireblazer. I'm so going to stop reading you. No more reading the Fireblazer stuff. All right, so, again, news-driven. The fundamentals are there, but from a successful investor standpoint, not altogether what you want to have. And again, this is teaching you how to fish based upon looking at stocks from a practical application of what's going on today by way of the news.
Yeah, so our focus in VectorVest simple. We don't want you to have to become a chartist, right? You can just look at that price structure on that 1-year graph and you can see that the price has stalled. And you can see that right now it's not going up in the near term. So it's not a candidate right now. Now that can change, of course, but right now, no thanks. There are other candidates that are doing better that I would consider before I'd considered Lulu.
Okay, I'm going to go to the next stock, oil.
So what do you think of that? Right? So you had nice price trend moving up here, right? This is an ETF, so there are no earnings numbers. We're just going to play the price action. You had that pivot high, the pullback, a gap breaks above with no follow through today. So how do we play gapping price action? Well, I'm looking for follow through to go higher than that gapping candle. So that could happen in the next bar or two, or it could just sit here and chop around sideways for a couple of weeks, or it could retrace. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm going to wait for evidence that there's some sentiment in the market that wants to drive it higher. And I'm going to do that by looking for a higher high.
And Akshaya, this is to go talk about oil. Overall, down day to day, but look at the trend. And this is on the 6-month graph. Look at this trend. Still moving higher. All right. And we just came off a 6-month high yesterday. That's, in my estimation, that's a pullback. Oil.
So let me take a stab at this, Glenn.
Sure.
Can you put on like a 20-day moving average?
What kind?
Take off your horizontal lines.
Okay.
Put on a 20-day moving average and the VectorVest stop price.
Simple.
Yep, that's fine.
20-day and the stop price. Let me make the 20-day a little. Okay. Talk to him.
Now, I'm very aware, this group in particular has a shorter term focus, time frame wise, right? More aggressive, more swing trading kind of approach. We're position trading in Successful Investor. So when I have a short time frame that I'm trading, I need a short time frame tool set, a 20-day moving average. But the person who's trading the Successful Investor approach, go to a 1-year graph. If I was trading the 20-day moving average, look at all the noise generated by that signal. Well, if you're swing trading, you're saying, well, that's great. I'm going to try to grab the upswing and, sell out right after the top. Where the more prudent investor is saying, well, no, I would have liked to buy that off of those lows and been holding it for the last 3 months and hold through that pullback. Both pullbacks, actually, because I'm still in uptrend. So successful investing takes a different approach. It's a longer term position trading approach. We still manage risk, right? But it's not as actively traded and our entries tend to be less aggressive. And it's not that other one's right or wrong. It's one is closer to how you're wired temperamentally.
All right. See, this is why I'm all about my new methodology is to feed the nation. Jerry says, Todd, I understand being prudent. The market where it is this really the time to be prudent if we believe in VectorVest and bottom fit? That's a good question. So I will start off by answering that. Is this the time to believe if we're time to be prudent if we believe in VectorVest? The answer to that is you can be prudent, you can be aggressive, you can be a conservative. And utilizing, as Todd said, the right market timing will get all of you guys in at the right time. So if you're bottom fishing, let's even talk about bottom fishing. What was the signal I was looking for when I put my alert out today? The primary wave went up. Where is it right now? It went back down. Jazz is asking me, are we at a bottom yet? I'm going to answer that once Todd leaves as we get into it, unless Todd wants to stay. That's up to him. But I'm going to answer that question is, are we at a bottom? But Jerry, depending on how you want to get into the market, and Todd is right, the majority of this room is a lot more aggressive than not. And I'm going to appeal to that when we talk about the bottom fishing stocks. But the methodology that Todd is talking about, being able to consistently get 15% a year, ain't just tiddlywinks. I don't know how many of you even make 15% a year. This is a methodology to at least get a portion of your portfolio to that point. So that's the way I'm going to answer the question. Todd, how do you want to answer the question?
I'm going to try a little different stab. Not that I disagree with any of that, but put up a market timing graph.
Here's a one-year
Let's do a
graph.
1 year. Yeah. And take off the subgraphs. And get rid of all your lines. You're going to hate me for that, aren't you?
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. And let's put on the green light buyer signal. So here we're looking at a 1 year graph. And of course, remember from a cycle standpoint, right? We're coming off of the all-time highs from November of 21. So you're in a rally now of what is actually still, though, a lower market, right? And you can see the big swings, the volatility that's been part and parcel of this price move. But I noticed that these green lights, when they appear, and you may have to zoom in to show this a little bit better, but the green lights appear when the market's rising. They disappear when the market's falling. And bear markets are marked by their increased volatility and kind of the dramatic pullbacks. But the key here is that you have still opportunities to make money to the upside, even though the broader context of the market is down, right? Playing those bull market rallies. What you need is a methodology that manages the risk of doing that. So most of us immediately think of, well, to manage that risk, I have to have a fast signal. I need to get in and get out and have 3-day trades. That's not necessarily the case. What I need to do is make sure that when I set up the trade, I have a defined exit point and I structure the trade so that if that exit point happens, that I'll keep the loss in the trade to less than 1 or 2% of my portfolio value. Then if I get a false breakout, right, I get green signals and I started buying stocks and the market turns against me, which is going to happen, I'm controlling my loss on a portfolio basis, 3, 4, maybe 5%, because I properly structured the trades that I'm not going to get sliced and diced. So that's going to play out well when your uptrend turns into an extended run. But if you look right in the middle of that graph, there's a section there. I can't read the dates on the graph because it's too small. To the right of that, I was just looking at that little, right below the word timing, right? Look at that little section there where it just it was zinging back and forth, right? Just a bunch of market chop. Well, another way we mitigate risk is by, instead of buying 10 stocks at a time, we buy 2 or 3 at a time.
It's called legging in.
So when you're buying stocks, even in questionable market periods, but you're buying stocks when the market's rising, those stocks themselves have fundamental strength and their price is rising. In other words, people have noticed and they're buying in on that trade. You're putting the probabilities in your favor. And while nothing's guaranteed, right, those stocks tend to be more resilient to the dramatic pullbacks that we can often experience in choppy markets.
All right. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to talk about the webcasts that you've got coming up today. You had 3 of them. Today is the last one. Go to www.vectorvest.com. What was the link? Sorry, is this the link, Joey? Can I put this in there?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a shorter link.
I'll put that link in there. And you can sign up. It's a free. Somebody says, why didn't you put free in air quotes? Because I didn't need to. This is a free workshop. This is a free webcast. Nobody's got to pay for this, so it doesn't need to be in air quotes. It's going to be today at 4:30, Thursday, September 28th at 4:30 p.m. Go support Todd. It's a webcast, and it's free, not in air quotes. There's nothing we're charging you for that. I don't even know why you put that in there. There's nothing that we're charging you for to go watch this webcast. Now, somebody said, before you go, somebody was talking about dollar cost averaging until the DEW goes green. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of you that don't have a ton of money in the market. Only people that should ever dollar cost average in are the people that got money that they don't need to utilize right now. I'm not a fan of dollar cost averaging either way. That's just me personally. But there's a lot of people that do it. And the people that can successfully do it have a lot of money that they can leg in on, or dollar cost average in on. If they lose some of that money, they got enough money to replace that. Many of you that have smaller portfolios, I would never tell you the dollar cost average, because that's a good way to blow up your portfolio quickly. Todd, your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, it's actually one of Dr. DeLito's myths that you want to buy stocks when they're falling, whether you're dollar cost averaging in on a falling stock or not. Don't do it. If you want a dollar cost average in on the upside, leg in, that's fine as long as the price action is higher. Your average price is rising, but the stock is rising in support of that. The problem, obviously, in terms of a risk management question, is as your dollar cost averaging down, yeah, you're lowering your cost basis and you're also expanding your losses.
Absolutely.
And that's, you get to the end of that, you're in a fully sized position that's now down 20%, and you're thinking, well, sure hope it turns around soon, because I've done spent my nut here and I can't do anything until I get recovery here. And then the market takes off, you're in the wrong stock or in the wrong sector, and now you're crying as it continues to move lower.
Yep. All right. Jim says, I only take small positions until the dew is bullish. And I'm with that. I agree. It's called legging in, but legging in means, just what Todd said, you're buying the stocks on their way up rather than dollar cost averaging, buying more stocks as it's rising, buying more shares as the stock is moving down. I'm all about legging in rather than dollar cost averaging. All right, Todd, do you have time to stay with me for a quick little?
Sure.
All right, good. Tell you what we're going to get into now. We looked at the stocks that made the news. All right, and I talked to you along with Todd from teaching you how to fish, how to make better decisions on those stocks. All right. Now, let's talk about giving you a fish. I did some cherry picking from a bottom fishing scenario using the MPI, the near perfect indicator. I'm utilizing 2 different cherry picking methodologies to find you some stocks to buy into. All right, we're going to graph these 5 stocks by the MPI. I'll put this on a 6-month graph. Go to change the layouts to the near perfect indicator. Bada boom, bada bing. Why do I still like this stock, Rolls-Royce? As the stock is pulling back, it's a lower dollar stock, as it's pulling back, and the RT, the 5 and 40 on RT have gone negative. The reason why I like this stock, couple of reasons. 1, I've got 2 gaps that are serving as beautiful levels of support. Number 2, looking at the near perfect indicator, looking at the 5 and the 40 on price, trend is still there. It's leveled out, but trend is still there. If I'm a little bit more aggressive, I maybe take half off the table with RT letting me know to do so. Other than that, I still like it from the position of something to buy because trend is still there. Todd, if you want to chime in on these, you can. If not, I'm going to go to the next stock.
Well, it's interesting because you have the MPI study here. The MPI study tells me that it's lost momentum.
It has. It has
So
lost momentum, but the trend is still intact.
It is.
So I'm
a higher high and a higher low.
I'm
But
looking
if I
at
was
this.
using the MPI study, I'd be looking for the 5 crossing back above.
So one of the things that I learned doing these 1 days with Stan is you can use this from a more aggressive perspective by looking at the RT. But if you're wanting to be more of a positional, longer term trader on the stock, as long as the blue line is above the 40, the trend is still intact. That's the reason why I like it from that perspective. The little bit more aggressive tells you, hey, not the right time is a trigger point, is a trigger to get out. Does that make sense, Todd?
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to that is if you go to your 3-month look, so I can actually see the hard right edge.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you had some selling pressure today, right?
No, it's up today.
Oh, is that hollow? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I take it back.
Okay. as well. I knew you would. And this level of support
How do you
is
know that? Wait a minute.
don't worry about that. This level of support is right at a gap. This level of support is right at a gap that hasn't, it started to fade here, came back up. I like that level, keeping it above that level. I'm going to keep these all on a 3-month. Powell, again, the 5 and the 40 look good in a channel. Another level of the gap serving as a good level of support. Aggressively getting in as the 5 hasn't gone above the 40 yet, but sideways move. Stock still has trend. From a position play, even the pullback says it's okay. And now it's starting to rebound a little bit. I got my eye on that. Todd?
Yeah, I'm looking for the breakout.
All right. Here's CMT. Bottom left, top right on 3-month. Trigger point to get you out here. Looks like it's giving you an opportunity close to it, but not yet. I like the trend. I'm looking at, from this perspective, the longer term plays. I know we talk a lot about shorter term plays. I'm specifically concentrating. I'm giving you the fish because everybody wants to bitch, moan, and groan about you guys. I'm giving you, in this case, using the MPI, some trades that are longer term that you might want to keep your eyes on. All right. My email, Akshay, is Glenn with 2 N's, Glenn T at VectorVest.com. Glenn T at VectorVest.com. So I'm taking a little bit of a different approach on the MPI setup by trying to find some stocks that are longer term trades, more so than just getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. Todd?
Yeah, go back to the last one, and let's. This is where I would make a differentiation.
Okay.
So CMT is in trend. We're liking that, right?
Right.
Particularly if it has fundamental strength. But that being said, put a horizontal line across that swing high, kind of the rounded top you have right there. Yeah, I just want to see where today's price action is relative to that. So right now we're straddling that prior high, and we've had some selling pressure with the wick at the top, right? So we've sold into that move today on the retest of the high. So this is one where I might wait for confirmation of the breakout, right, with tomorrow's bar. Go to the next one, the next stock. Here's a differentiation, and now I'm in swing trader mode now. This is not successful investor mode. All right, we pulled back. Trend is still in place. We pulled back, retested support at the gapping candle low. I got an up move today with headroom to that prior swing high. Right, so as I got closer to the prior swing high and possible resistance, I'm more interested in seeing, confirmation of sentiment. But with enough headroom here, then I can take this, and even if I do find resistance at that prior swing high, I've got some gains in the position to help weather the storm. So if we want to chop around here a little bit and have a think about it, well, that's fine. I've got a stop loss at the prior swing low, and I've got some gains built up. All right, so just 2 different approaches to the same question.
I agree. My biggest thing that I wanted to give today was more of a position trade using the MPI. All right. Another level. This is using the Midas touch. Another's cherry picking. Let's go take a look at these. Tired of y'all saying, so I'm giving you fish. Let's go to Midas touch. I got the Midas touch. Bottom left, top right, moving averages, 1065 RT, above 1 and rising. Todd?
Yep, you're broader context, you're in uptrend still, right? Higher highs, higher lows.
Right.
With building momentum, rising RT. Those are all in the right places. Do I have enough headroom? Right now, it looks like the screen I'm looking at looks like a 6-day consolidation here where I can't break over the local high. And again, it's that question of headroom, right? So I have some headroom up to the high from here if I can continue the uptrend.
There you go.
So my hard right edge, I'm looking for continuation of the trend right up to today.
Next one. Is there anything bad you can say about this except for it's trading at 3-month highs, 6-month highs?
No, it's not the first time it's been trading at a 3-month high.
Absolutely.
And it's not the first time that it's been relatively extended, right? Just look at the distance of price to the moving average. So a little overextended here, but uptrend is still intact. What are you here for? For the next 2 bars or for the next, 2 weeks,
There you go.
2 months?
Okay. Next one. Uptrend, pulling back, but I got a crossover in RT rising. Thoughts?
Yeah, you do. So actually, go to the 1-year graph. And again, time frame matters here, right? So in the broader context, yeah, it's been a tough year for these guys, the last 6 months in particular. So we're on the bounce now, reapproaching, our former highs. So the local uptrend is still intact. I'd be careful here at that resistance level. Just out of curiosity, snap to a 5-year. Because it's been a tough, we said the November highs of 21, right? So it's been a tough turn here. So that gives you a little bit more context to where these guys have been and hopefully where we're going to go again if we can get the ship righted.
All right. Couple of more stocks. I like this play. Interesting. I got a little bit of a possible. No, I don't. I thought I had a wedge. It broke to the upside of the wedge. That's another positive sign for me right here.
Yeah, you got a little pennant breakout there. That's a good sign. And you're putting in, right? You pulled back, but you put in the higher low. So we're back into the uptrend after that correction, whatever that was. Might be earnings related. But the local uptrend reestablished, and now you've got some price structure you can use to help manage the trade.
Okay, and the last one. I like the resurgence of RT. It's still above 1, but I like the move on the stock, another insurance stock.
Yeah, so what's that telling you is that we're still in uptrend, but the rate of change slowed.
Right.
Well, that's okay. I can draw a nice fat trend line under that stock, and it's still hitting higher highs and higher lows. It's on pullback mode right now. So I want to re-enter on a rising price, but okay.
All right. So those were my 2 cherry picking techniques. And then I'm not going to worry about this one. Weekly theme. My weekly theme this week for Trending Thursday is going to be top VST newcomers, a strategy that I did not too long ago. Do you prefer a stock with high volume trading each day? I think volume shows conviction. So when I go to look at a graph, I do want to take into consideration some volume. Add a parameter, price volume. I'm a fan of looking at volume. All right, average volume is on the rise, and that's a good looking stock from a cherry pick standpoint. I cherry pick. I went through a lot of different things to find these stocks. I cherry picked this one specifically for you guys. I like this $63. Broke through a level of resistance, new high. Even look at it from the Midas touch, looks good. All right, I'm just gonna go through these, Todd. Vista, evidently this was not a. Actually, probably could have been a Midas touch. I like the resurgence after being beaten up. This industry has just been killing it. New high. Average volume though is starting to fall. I'd be careful with this, but I like the price structure. I like the price structure on this stock. Why is now the time to bottom fish if today's market is neutral? Let me go through these stocks real quick. Here's my next one. There's my next
On
one.
a couple of these, you have, like on that last one, yesterday was the breakout day. Today was the follow through.
You talk about Vista?
Yeah.
Breakout. That was a good level of, yes, and follow through. I'm still good on that stock. Hold on. Yeah. I want to answer the question about the bottom fishing. When I ran, looking at the market timing graph earlier today, and this is the interesting part about having real time. intraday, we got a primary wave up. Right? Intraday, we got a primary wave up. The market was rocking and rolling. So Igloo, today at the time when I set up the alert was the time to bottom fish. So I go back to it now and look at the market timing graph. Put this on a 3-month graph. Still nice open candle today. Follow through from yesterday's bullish candle, which was a bullish harami. I'm not still calling this a blast off day, but I am calling it follow through. Would you agree with that, Todd? Yes or no?
I'm not sure that I would take back the blast off day, right? You're off the highs, but it's still an impulse move. Coming back for a retest of the high from 2 days ago. If you look at it on an intraday basis, just snap one day.
I hate moving my graphs, so I want to look at individual. There's intraday 1-minute bars. Where's 9:30? There's
So you've
9:30.
given back 30% of the move, right? But it's still a strong up day.
Compared to when the market opened up this morning.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So if you're going to take action on intraday change in signal on the intraday price move before lunch, right? Is that a more aggressive entry than waiting for the day to finish and then look for follow through tomorrow?
Bingo!
Well, I think
So
the answer is yes.
that's the
So how
answer to
aggressive
your
do you wanna
question,
be?
Igloo. Go ahead.
So if you're going to take the entry on that intraday signal, you're being very aggressive, well,
Mhm.
then pull up your big boy pants, because the risk you're taking is that intraday there'll be a sell-off after lunch and you'll be looking at, 5 stocks in your portfolio that you wish you didn't have.
So
Or you can wait a little bit and try to get more confident in the entry.
So my call today about it being a bottom fishing day was a freaking aggressive call. Do you guys agree with that? Yes or no? All right, because Igloo, you ain't the only one asking this question. Do you agree with that? That the call that I made today when I put the alert out was an aggressive call? Yes or no? Yes or no? I need everybody to answer that because everybody's questioning, is this a bottom fishing opportunity? Why are you bottom fishing? Blah, 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 blah. The call that I made today when I put out the alert was an aggressive call. Do I still stand by it? From an aggressive standpoint, I still stand by it. Why? Because the composite is still higher than it was at the open. I still feel that I'm getting follow through from the prior day. Now, am I backing up the truck now? No. But can I still take some positions long? Yes. And I just gave you some of those positions. When I went back and gave you some of those cherry picking suggestions, you realize all of these stocks are moving up. That's on the MPI, on the Midas Touch. All of these stocks are, they were. 2 of them are down. 3 out of the 5 are up. Cherry picking, I didn't go over these plays, and I'm still not going to because of the time. I came up with 4 other stocks for you, combination of both MPI and Midas Touch. They're all up. So I still feel comfortable enough to know that we got follow through. But without the primary wave up, I'm legging in. I am not backing up the truck, and even for the more aggressive side. So that's what I'm saying. And Igloo, I wanted to go after that question because you weren't the only one asking that question, and I wanted to address it.
Let me put on my coach's hat and try to help people out, because so often this becomes an exercise in whether we're right or wrong. And right or wrong is not the right question. It's about probabilities. And do you have a rules-based approach, a systematic approach that puts probabilities on your side? Along that spectrum, those who are more conservative are looking for more and more evidence to get more and more probability. Well, that also means it's typically going to come later to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And our gains may be lower, but our volatility should be lower too. Conversely, if you want to be on the aggressive end of the spectrum, that's where the best gains are made, but you're also more likely to get false starts.
And you're going to assume more risk the more aggressive you are.
So if you understand that going in, then it really becomes a need then to manage the risk, to make that more aggressive entry acceptable, right? Because where you blow up is when you take on the risk without any consideration of controlling it, and all of a sudden your portfolio is down 20% in a day, and you're thinking, oh man, right? So then you panic and you go into cash. The next turn comes around and you lose another 20%, and all of a
Right.
sudden half of your holdings are gone, and you've taken two tranches.
I
One
hate
of your
that
favorite
word.
words.
I hate that word. So the beautiful thing, and Joey, put us on the end screen, please. The beautiful thing about today is we had a combination of feeding the nation, VV Nation, with stocks I've given you and with better understanding of how to play stocks. The successful investor is an awesome way to look for confirmation before you pull the trigger on a trade. A lot of what I've given you today from a cherry picking standpoint, I was a little bit more aggressive, just like I was a more aggressive with the call that I made on the alert for the portfolio for the session today. Glenn, why are you upset? I'm not upset. Oh, no, I'm not upset. And don't think that I was upset with Igloo. Igloo said, we only question you because we respect your opinion. Oh, no, I wasn't upset. I wanted to address the question because I know that Igloo wasn't the only one asking the question. And I didn't want anybody to think that I was wavering on what I said or why I said it. I wanted you to understand why I said it and back it up. It was an aggressive call. What I'm looking for today is if the market can finish with that primary wave up. That gives me more confirmation. If I don't, I still giving you some fish, some stocks that are going up based on a couple of different cherry picking techniques. I've given you that. But then with having Todd on today, giving you the VectorVest simple layout to teach you how to fish so that you don't have to worry about that. It was a great combination today. So that's what I wanted to do. And I wasn't mad at anybody. Believe you me, that I never get mad at anybody unless it's Amir. Amir, I'm only messing with. Or Fireblazer. Fireblazer, I stay mad at all the time because I don't know what the flying flip. You be typing in here. It says, good day, Glenn. Market is in a downtrend lately. You are helping VV Nation to get ready for the next turn. Again, folks, my job right now is to feed the nation. You guys need to come here for all of our live streams, watch all of our videos, because it's all about feeding the nation. How many likes did we get so far today, Joey? I need to close out today with 100 likes. We got 69. Today's session was well worth you hitting the like button today. Todd's got another webcast to do today. He's got like 3 to do it. And he did one. He's here for this one. He's killing it. Today he put on his coach's hat and he talked to you about a consistent way to possibly make 15% a year. That's nothing to sneeze at. And I appreciate you doing that for me today. And today I'm not looking at any stocks. I think that it was well worth it to have Todd here for as long as we did, to give some insight and to teach you guys how to fish. All right. Todd, thank you very much for being here. If you got anything else you want to say to the people today?
Well, I feel like I want to try to recap what we're doing in successful investing, because we do decidedly take a prudent position trading approach. But we put that in the context of the broader topic. We're trying to teach you how to identify your objectives, how to pursue those objectives, and from a prudent perspective, what that looks like in terms of managing a trading system, reading charts, right, and managing a portfolio, managing risk. The idea being that those principles, I call them fundamentals of trading, right? Once you have those fundamentals of trading in under your belt from a prudent perspective, it's easy to apply them to a swing trading or even day trading approach, or buy and hold investing for that matter. But often we never get well versed in the principles of the fundamentals. And that's what we're trying to do in successful investing. Well, I dare say what we are doing. I invite you to come take a look at it. It will be admittedly from a prudent perspective, but I think there's something there most of us can learn.
There you go. Again, Joey's got the link pinned to the top of the chat. Click on it, register it. Register for it now. Register for it now. And when you go in there, I want you to let Todd know that you are here at the YouTube channel. So I want you to put in VVYT. Todd will then know that you came from today's session and you're supporting him from the YouTube.
I like it. It's our secret code.
Huh?
I like it. It's our secret code.
It's a secret code. So when you log in to the room today, type in VVYT. Todd will be able to look at that and go, wow, these are the people that came from Trending Thursday. Support them. It's free. It's free. All right. Todd, again, thank you for being here. Folks, thank you for being here and giving us a moment to help us. Help us to feed the nation, VV Nation. With that, I'm going to close out today. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii, especially in Maui. Salam, shalom, bom dia, yasu. Till next time, folks. See ya.